today, and let's join her. So while we wait for Munmun to join, she should be here any moment. Hi, Munmun.
Hi, I'm good. You look so lovely.
Thank you. I'm just chilling at home because everything is cancelled.
I know. So nice to get
Congratulations on your book.
Thank you so much.
It's been 3 weeks now, if I'm not wrong. That is
Yes,
the
yes.
bestseller.
Yes.
Wow. How did you come up with that name, Belly and the Brain Diet?
So, actually the title is Yuktahar, so here it is. I'm just going to take all the opportunity to flaunt this. The title is Yuktahar. Actually, this was also the name of my program since years. Like my consultation program has always been named as Yuktahar since, a long time that I have started working, with my clients. And when I started working with my editorial team at Penguin Random House, they said that, why not, keep the same name for the book. And I was like, okay, great. So that is how happened. The Belly and Brain Diet actually became the subtitle, which I was thinking to, have that as the main title. But then it eventually got shifted as the subtitle. And it was just basically to, tell the readers that, our gut is so important in how it is connected to our brain, which means, our mental health and emotional health.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise, people,
Like you say, your gut feels. So your gut has a mind of its own. And I had read long back that your gut is a nervous system in itself.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people actually don't know this, and they give the least. I think it's the most, least
underrated
organ in our body, which is actually the most important because the entire health stems from your gut. So I have a few questions for you, Munmun, and I want to break people's myths about these things because.
So let's do this.
Yes. So. First question. Now, what is your take on breakfast? How important is breakfast? Should breakfast be like a king-size breakfast? And, like there's a saying, breakfast like a king and dinner like a pauper. Do you like to follow that? Or do you think, some people skip their meals, breakfast, and do intermittent fasting? So what's your take on breakfast?
So breakfast, of course, बहुत ज़रूरी है. It's like important meal of the day. So I'm somewhere in the middle where I don't even advocate that do the intermittent and skip the breakfast. That's not what I promote. And I also don't take this proverb जो लोगों ने बहुत seriously ले लिया that eat breakfast like a king and lunch like a prince. So I don't believe that as well. So I'm somewhere in the middle. Breakfast is important, you should not skip it, but at the same time, it should not be king-size breakfast. Instead, lunch should be the most wholesome meal of the day. And you can make lunch like an early lunch. Early lunch, when I say it's like, between 11 to 1. So if we want to have lunch at the right time, which is 11 to 1, then breakfast has to be lighter. Otherwise, how people generally eat, they could just go on parathas and eggs and so many things for breakfast that they don't feel hungry for lunch till 2:33.
Correct.
And then they eat like, they will just skimp through the lunch and then suddenly they will feel famished by evening and then they gorge on all the pani puris and bhel puris.
Correct.
And then, the entire day goes wrong. So, like you do it, Rakul, like since the time we have been working.
I love doing my early lunch, and I for all the people who are watching, I generally like to finish my workout in the morning, no matter how early, and then I take this protein smoothie, which we've posted recipe of where I add a lot of nuts also, seeds to my protein, almond milk, banana, and my protein powder. Sometimes if I want, I add a pinch of cacao to make it tasty. A lot of ice. And
there's cinnamon powder in it. There's cinnamon, flax seeds.
Yeah, flax seeds. So to make it tasty, a lot of ice. And
there's cinnamon powder in it. There's cinnamon, flax seeds.
Yeah, flax seeds. And that's my breakfast, and then I do my lunch around 12:30 12:30 if I'm at home, and around 1 o'clock if you're shooting, because you can't tell them कि मुझे lunch break दे दो. But you want to add why it's the best time, because you've told me, but I'd love the listeners to know.
Yeah. So, what I have always tried to endeavor as a, nutritionist is to always go back to what Ayurveda and traditional wisdom says, and then try to see if it really connects with the modern science.
Right.
So sooner or later, I do see that, they do connect. So, when I came out with this philosophy, it was out of my research, because Ayurveda, when you look at Ayurveda through the concepts of, all the Pitta, Kapha and Vata, breakfast is, according to Ayurveda, not the time when you should have a very heavy meal. It's a time when you should have a very light meal. The reason being, your metabolism works according to the sun.
Right.
So because early morning, like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, the sun isn't, shining bright. It shines bright during the noon time. So morning they eat lighter, but eat heavier during the lunch when the sun is, shining the brightest, because that is when you will be able to digest everything. Your metabolism is at its peak, and no matter what you eat, it will not kind of, get converted into fat.
Right.
When I went and, revisited this fact in modern science, they say the same thing. They call it the circadian rhythm diet.
Circadian rhythm diet, yes.
Yeah, so they say the same thing, that eat with the sun. Sun is brightest in the noon, so heaviest meal should be in the noon. So it really just then, falls together. And that is how, most of my principles are, this is how, I have worked upon them.
That's amazing.
And it works beautifully, yeah.
I think it does, because I love to have my lunch as the heaviest, and then my dinner's generally light by 7:30.
Yeah.
I finish
Yeah.
max.
Yeah.